The objective of today's press conference or interaction with all of you is to explain some of the legal issues and constitutional issues around the conviction of Shri Gandhi, as also his disqualification as a member of parliament, given that he was a member of parliament representing a constituency. There, of course, has been a lot of political commentary since last Friday, when he was disqualified from being a member of parliament. Just thought that some of those issues actually require some elaboration and some reiteration, and that is why we've bothered you today in the afternoon to contextualize some of these questions. Essentially, there are two fundamental questions so we'll do it in this manner. I have a small suo motu of about 10 or 15 minutes, and then whatever questions you have, we will I'll take those questions. So essentially, there are two issues which arise in Shri Rahul Gandhi's case. Whether his conviction and sentencing is bad in law, which we think it is, and I'll explain the reasons for that. And number two, whether his disqualification as member of parliament is unconstitutional and therefore deserves to be set aside as soon as possible. The fundamental ingredient of section 499 and 500 of the Indian Penal Code, which deals with criminal defamation, is intent to cause harm. There is a term in criminal law called mens rea, intention. Now, when we engage in political polemics, we might have a point of view which our adversary does not like, but that definitely does not translate into any intention of causing harm. Various courts, including the Supreme Court of India, from 1950 onwards, have held that if the intent to cause harm is not made out, then the case should not be proceeded with. And in this particular instance, there was no intention to cause harm to anybody. In the course of a political speech, which were being made by Rahul Gandhi, who was the president of the National Congress. Number two, there is a process under the Criminal Procedure Code. There is a section 202 of the Criminal Procedure Code, which says that a court must go into the question whether it has jurisdiction to offense. Now, this statement was made in Polar, and the case was filed in Surat. So, even before the agreement in 302 of the Procedure Code, as to whether the organisms of this offense into own jurisdiction does not reflect section is very clear. Can only be by somebody who is personally aggrieved. It cannot be modified by the Supreme Court. There is no concept of class action and defamation. It is a personal harm, and that personal remedy has to be pursued by the person who feels personally aggrieved. In this case, the gentleman who filed this particular complaint wasn't even present anywhere in the speech. So therefore, under those circumstances, even the prima facie ingredients and obviously Mr. Rahul Gandhi legal chief is legal remedies. But given that he was a member of Parliament from Wayanad in Kerala, it is important that Kerala understand as to how both from a legal and a constitutional standpoint, his conviction and subsequent disqualification is wrong. Number two, I will come to the disqualification. You see, there is a section in the Representation of People's Act 1951, section 8(3). It says that if a person is convicted for a period of more than 2 years, he shall be disqualified. Earlier than protection law, in terms of Section 4, which envisaged that for an elected representative, member of parliament, member of if you are in the moment you file an appeal, till the time you are dead, decided your membership will continue. In 2014, the Supreme Court decided to take away that protection. It did not touch 8(3) of the Representation of People's Act. Now, Section 8(3) has two ingredients. One ingredient is conviction and the other is sentencing. Both those ingredients have to be completed before a member of parliament becomes liable for disqualification. In this particular instance, in Shri Rahul Gandhi's instance, the court which convicted him suspended the sentence, allowing him 30 days to appeal. And so therefore, even basic ingredients of Section 8, which is the disqualification in case of conviction, not made that. The power to disqualify a member of parliament does not lie either with the Speaker of the Lok Sabha or with the chairperson of the Council of States. It lies with the President of India under Article 103 of the Constitution. The article is very clear that when a question arises that a member of Parliament has to be disqualified, the President shall consult with the Election Commission, and the advice of the Election Commission shall be binding on the President. Like with regard to executive action, the advice of the Cabinet is binding on the President. With regard to disqualification of a member of Parliament, the advice of the Election Commission is binding on the President. And so therefore, Section 8(3) has been wrongly read, because it does not say shall stand disqualified on conviction. It says shall be disqualified. That be envisages a process, and that process is that the President of India in consultation with the Election Commission needs to take a call whether to disqualify an MP or not. Now, in this particular instance, within 24 hours of the conviction, sentence having been suspended, the Lok Secretariat goes ahead and issues a notification disqualifying Shri Rahul Gandhi. In another 24 hours, the notice goes out that vacate your house. So why is all this happening? And that is the political part. Why this is happening is because Rahul Gandhi was raising uncomfortable questions with regard to the Adani group in the wake of Hindenburg report. The Congress party has been demanding consistently and repeatedly that a joint parliamentary committee should be constituted, just as it was when the Mehta case happened in 1993 or the Ketan Parekh case happened in 2000, and both these cases are market related. Or for that matter, when 2G happened in 2010-11. The idea is not to make a premature value judgment. The idea is that some in the political space. Therefore, the joint parliamentary committee would be an appropriate forum to investigate these expose which have been made by reputed international publications also now. So to conclude by suo motu, we would like to very emphatically that Shri Rahul Gandhi's qualification was hasty, it was unnecessary, it was uncomfortable. It was not a question of Shri Rahul Gandhi alone. It is a question of democratic values. It is a question of democratic traditions. It is a question as to whether this country will be run based upon the rule of law and the Constitution of India. Clearly does not seem to be the case in Shri Rahul Gandhi's matter. And that is why the Congress party across the country is expressing solidarity with injustice was being meted out to Shri Rahul Gandhi, and is also agitating to safeguard the values on which our republic stands. That is all I had to say. If there are any questions, I will be happy to take them. Identify, you ask the question, so I would know I'm responding. Thank you. If there are any questions about this, we'll come back to the policy. If there are questions with regard to what I have said, if anybody has anything to ask, that, whether we can ask that or we can move questions.
Neetu from CNN News 18. So just wanted to know, on the day this happened, you have been saying that you're looking at the media, you will be fighting this video. But is there a delay that voting? Why? It's been more than a week. So when?
Well, there is absolutely no delay. Let me tell you, as a lawyer, that when you file a appeal, it is not only looked at that you look at the entire record of proceedings in the trial. The record is extremely voluminous. It is in Gujarat, and it is in Gujarat. The entire record is being translated, and this is not the kind of translation that you put in whatever it is called. Because if you end up getting the nuance wrong, your client gets harmed. So therefore, there is a very responsible process of translating the entire what is taking place. And the court has granted 30 days to appeal. Yes, obviously, these people, despite the sentence being suspended, decided not to wait even for 24 hours before disqualifying Shri Rahul Gandhi, and within another 24 hours they noticed to him that he should also vacate his house. So there the mala fide is very clear, and when you are confronted with state operation, you obviously make sure that all your I's are dotted and T's are crossed before you file an appeal. You had a question? Is absolutely where are you even getting this? Whatever videos that I have seen, interaction in England, well, the United Kingdom, doesn't lend itself to the interpretation that he asked for any intervention of any foreign powers. And to address this question a little more holistically, you see, there was a time when we used to leave our domestic politics on the shores of our seas and oceans when we used to travel. That convention wasn't broken by the Congress party. That convention was broken by the Janata party and its leaders. So therefore, those are and said this. Well, the question is, who started this? When you sow the wind, you reap it. Who went across the world maligning the opposition when there was absolutely no need to do that? I recall when we were in government from 2004 to 14, despite the fact that we were under very sharp attack all the time from the opposition, but we never went and badmouthed opposition leaders on foreign shores. So I think it's a little rich for people to turn around and now claim that somebody has committed a transgression, which clearly he or she has not, and then do not allow Parliament to sit. This is the first time in 17 that you have disrupting Parliament. Opposition used to disrupt Parliament in order to be heard. But for a ruling party to disrupt Parliament, get 45 crores worth of financial business transacted in the day. I do not even know how constitutional is the passage of that budget. Because the House has to be in order for sensitive financial business of the state is transacted. So therefore, all traditional conditions are completely and absolutely thrown to the winds. I was quite struck by the photograph of the Prime Minister visiting the new Parliament, and I just thought to myself that it is chaotic that you will not allow the existing Parliament to run. But you can find a surprise visit to the new Parliament with a huge media. The Constitution has the right would adhere to the mandate which the Constitution of India has given him. I don't think any necessitates any further comment. Anything else? Go back to your conservation. Yes, I listened to the Honourable Speaker of the Lok Sabha. My colleague Mr. Jairam Ramesh wrote to the Chairperson of the Council of State. You see, a joint parliamentary committee is constituted when there is a multiple issue involved. Like, for example, I don't think there's a standing committee which is dealing with the Ministry of Cooperatives. Or the standing there's no Ministry of Data Protection. Protection didn't go to the Standing Committee of Information and Technology. It went to Joint Committee of Parliament, of which I was a member. Similarly, the Conservation Bill has a dedicated standing for forests and climate change and environment. So there is absolutely no reason to bypass that standing committee, and that's what has been the thrust of our argument.
What would be the motive? Is there a...
Well, these days it has become unnecessary to speculate on motives, because when every convention and tradition is being to go by, do you regard this as an isolated straw in the wind, or as a part of a larger narrative playing out, where the opposition seems to be completely being defeated? Obviously, perhaps they didn't want to send the standing committee because it is chaired by a Congress member. Well, first of all, ma'am, Simranjeet Singh is not the member of Parliament from Amritsar. He is the member of Parliament from Sangrur. So therefore, it's my state. I represent a constituency in that state and Parliament. So that's just a factual correction. Well, I think Punjab is passing through a situation. This turbulence is extremely unfortunate, being a border state, because our not so friendly nation across the neighbor across the border leaves no stone unturned in order to our internal conflict if we allow them to manifest. So, given the sensitivity of the situation, I would like to appeal to all those people far away from Punjab that I am in Thiruvananthapuram, for the peace and tranquility of the state. Responsible state make responsible statements. Look, I in the NSC as a and the one thing that has to be asked for is not to comment shifting sands to Kerala politics. So I speak to the Kerala leaders to answer your question. Right. Well, obviously it seems that there is a split bench, and so therefore it's been referred to a larger bench of both the PCC president and the CLP leader and the former CLP leader have reacted in great detail to what has happened. So I have nothing more to add to it. Thank you.
So what do you say about your chances in Karnataka?
We are winning. Yeah. We are winning. We are winning Karnataka. I don't think it has any science to figure that out. Look, there is an intrinsic sense of equity, justice, and fair play in the people of this country. They know they can feel when things go far. I think we have come to a point in the term of this government where the people are becoming the opposition. And every government should be very careful when the role of the mantle of the opposition is no longer the opposite parties but gets transferred to the people. It's a very ominous, portentous bell which you ignore at your own peril.
There's a lot of opposition unity that's happening now from many corners. You've got this, but do you think that you'll be able to reverse the run-up to the Lok Sabha elections until the elections bring back? What is your take on that?
Look, essentially, this is not a normal election any longer. I think in more ways than one, it has become a fight for the very of India. So, therefore, when I earlier referred to the innate sense of equity, justice, fairness, fair play, which is a part of our mental makeup, we can sense when things are going too far. I think we've reached that inflection point. It is the people. It's the force at on the ground, at the grassroots, which is actually going to impel oppositions even if they don't want to come together. There is a very, very strong undercurrent which you may not see, but if you talk to people, you can discern that sense of comfort with what is going on. And we've had instances in this country when people become the opposition. The Congress faced it in 1977.
Congress should stand at the forefront. Congress should lead the opposition at this point of time, or like other regional parties come together. What is the take on that?
Well, unity is among equals. There is no first among equals. The prerequisite of any opposition unity is that you give respect and you get respect in turn. That is the sine qua non. That is the building block of opposition unity. So I don't think it's about who is first and who is second and who is third. I think it is it's a round table where everybody who sits at that table is treated equally.